let's see if this works correctly. Because the way this should work is that if I timed it right, and if I set everything up correctly, everyone who watched the premiere should be ported or dumped over into the live stream, which is why the timing was strange. I don't 100% know if it'll work though, because I've only done this once or twice. And we'll see how it goes. But assuming everything worked correctly, should be a good number of people coming over in just a couple minutes. Okay, cool. Always good to have confirmation that it works. Since I tried it before and I got it to work once and then I set it up and it didn't work. And so I know I did it wrong at least once. Welcome. I am currently doing, well, a couple of white maps for completion, and then I'm going to jump into some yellows. I really need to get some instilling orbs to automate my flasks. That would be nice. Is that a problem if I empower it? Probably not. I say probably not, but then I read Gargantuan Arcane Buffer on one of these dogs. So maybe it was a problem. Bleeding and Corrupting Fever are two different things in a lot of cases. So I shouldn't have done this. This is what I don't like about Sentinels. With how they work, it's really awkward when you want to empower certain things, but don't want to empower other things. Because I thought, oh, Essence of Torment. If I had read it more carefully and seen that it was Arcane Buffer plus Gargantuan, I definitely wouldn't have empowered it. So Conduit, that's not a problem. Mana Siphoner, what's mana? Yeah, Sentinel so far feels very, very clunky. I might just stop using it. I'm definitely not going to be using it for a while in the yellow maps. Like here, it's kind of awesome because I can just pop a strongbox and empower everything and get extra rewards for relatively low effort. Depending on your build, you might be able to use Corrupting Fever to boost the damage of a bleed build, assuming that you're already going Crimson Dance. However, a lot of bleed builds focus more on hitting hard and hitting once. Since Crimson Dance is still only kind of eh. Right, let's pop this here. And oh, did my fever fall off? Yeah, it did. My fever falls off a lot when I'm trying to line Sentinels up. Then again, double Screaming Essence, one of which is Greed and the other of which is Dread. So, like, that definitely worked. Hasted Gargantuan Stormstrider, which is really annoying. Not a fan of the fact that this mod still exists in the game. Ooh, Sapphire Ring. As you can maybe tell, build is scuff. Build is very scuff. Needs more work. My wand, I'm only using one of them. I'm using a shield. I guess with the free MTX from Phasing Flask, you can't really see that. But the other wand is just +1 fizz with crafted spell damage on a really low level base. I can show you when I get back to my hideout, though. Let's zoom. Okay, he's going down real fast. Nope. Not multi. Don't have the craft yet. They do make essences rippy. Also, why did that hit me then? I hate Toxic. Toxic's so annoying. It hits you at the most random times. I hate that mod. I want old volatiles back. Please give me old volatiles back. All right, so this is my wand. And I can't craft dot multi on it because I don't have the craft. And also the suffixes are all full. This was literally the cheapest wand that I could grab yesterday. So in terms of the new version of the loot boxes, of course this build can kill rares. Why would I have an issue with rares? Rares aren't that bad. I mean, if you empowered them, they are, but just don't empower them. That's kind of on you. Yeah, loot boxes. On the one hand, I am not a fan of loot boxes, period, as a mechanic. On the other hand, they're certainly a lot better than they used to be. Loot boxes in PoE used to be absolutely god-awful. And now they're getting better. They're getting better because you can't pull duplicates anymore. And that's something that is really, really big. So that was an example of a rare. It died without much fanfare. I'll start juicing some stuff here. Oh, I bet I know what that is. Yep, it's a Praxis. I don't think Cobra Lash is in a really good spot, to be honest. I'm sure it's one of those skills that if you invest in it enough, it's fine, but it's certainly not on my short list of things on League Start. So people keep saying there's a no regen mod, and they kept saying it was on Rejuvenator. I never once, playing RF for almost a month, never once even saw my regen be affected. And I did Rejuvenator a lot of the time. I haven't heard of Verdant Regrowth before. Maybe that's new? Let's empower this. Sure. Got a chisel. Okay, so it is a new mod. This build uses a lot of regen, but I guess I just kill things fast enough that it doesn't proc? I don't know. I'm pretty sure that the entire thing is a non-issue and you just have to get good and not stand next to the enemy. I'm almost 100% sure that it's a non-issue because that's what happens with Executioner. Yeah, the new rares really haven't been bad. The only time so far that I've gone, wow, that was stupid, was when I walked into a research and there was a gank squad of a bunch of zaps from me hitting enemies in combination with Ice Prison. And I got walled in where I could not escape because the two Ice Prisons overlapped and then I died to zaps. Yeah, okay. So as long as it's the sort of thing where you can avoid it by just not standing next to the enemy, that sounds like it's not too big of a deal. Yeah, and I don't know, this might be a hot take from what I've heard about Reddit, but I don't think you should just be able to brainlessly face tank rares. I mean, sure, if you have a headhunter and you have a billion buffs and all that, you can face tank rares. But aside of that, I don't think it's a bad thing to not be able to do that. So far, it hasn't felt like the mods are so punishing that I can't deal with them. I do think there's going to be a few rough patches. I do think that magic mods felt very overtuned at low levels, like level 5 and stuff. But I also think that was partially because I was used to magic mods being free and just face tanking. Oh, I bet a Headhunter build can. I bet a Headhunter build can. It's not overtuned. And if you think that this is an example of overtuned difficulty, I don't think PoE is really going to be for you in the future, because I suspect that this is going to be about the average difficulty or easier than Path of Exile 2. Personally, I think it's great. The thing that's really, really good...
Godslayer, good day.
Hey, thank you, Seshu. Welcome. Thank you for becoming a channel supporter. I mean, yeah, just roll a Giga Chad. I'm not sure I'd go Glacial Hammer, personally. It didn't get buffed this time, and so there's no real reason to play it. Buff Glacial Hammer 2022. Aside of that, though, this is going to be a good example of stuff going into PoE 2. Also, to address Thorstein's point, yeah, triple LE mod rares that take no damage from Elemental. I believe there was some stuff with immunity. I'm not 100% sure exactly if it's just really high res or actual immunity. But if it is actual immunity, that's a problem. There should not be actual immunity that can roll together like that. Not about casuals getting out. It's about casuals getting good. Remember, you can be a casual and play a challenging game. But PoE is not really the sort of game for people who want everything to be easy. Yeah, if you can get triple LE immunity, that's a problem. I have not noticed Mana Siphoner being an issue at all. Because you can always just spend life instead of mana. I don't think Mana Siphoner prevents you from using life tap builds. It's a really good idea to be using life tap early on anyway. How good is Poison Pearl if unclear? It feels a bit slow. Depends on your AoE. If you have a good bit of AoE, really nice. If you don't have enough AoE, kind of meh. Yeah, Devouring Diadem's another thing you can definitely target. Or zero mana cost skills. You can use double Praxis. It feels like a lot of these things are... Oh, see, I was killing stuff there without my main skill being active, and it was just fine. I think T5 maps are too low for my character. There's a lot of other solutions. I really don't see things like Mana Siphoner as an issue. I leveled with a skill that cost mana, and then with movement skills that cost mana. I had no problems, probably because I wasn't standing directly on top of them, but also even melee builds don't really have to stand directly on top of stuff. This really, to me, feels like players not yet adapting more so than actual issues. Day 2, super easy so far. About to be doing some of my first yellow maps. Okay, I think, did I do one earlier? I might have done one earlier as a quick test. But everything's really good. Corrupting Fever is super solid. I am not even using the higher damage auras that I could be. I went for defensive auras. Arch Nemesis itself is a bit of a divisive topic, but I haven't had a problem with it so far. And then Sentinel, not a fan of Sentinel. Was your main skill mana or life cost? Because if your main skill's mana and it had a significant mana cost, I could see that being an issue. If your main skill was life cost, I feel like that shouldn't be that big of a deal. I certainly, once I switched over to life cost skills, haven't run into something where Mana Siphoner has even caused me to notice, and right now my mana regen is deplorable. I can't dash or flame dash after using vulnerability. I'm pretending it's not a problem right now. It's mostly because I'm running vulnerability to be greedy, to get a little bit of extra life regen. Or not vulnerability to be greedy, vitality to be greedy. Get a little extra life regen. Oh, I was standing in the fire. Burning ground is bad still, by the way. 50 mana. I found your problem. You should have more of your mana unreserved. Maybe I shouldn't have buffed these guys. I forgot that they have a lot of health. I'm still learning what I can and can't buff with Sentinel. I don't think mana issue should be a problem for any build. Life tap's really easy to use. Res problems, that I could see, depending on your build. I don't think res will be that big of an issue, though. I do think that there shouldn't be immunity stuff.
Hail, God.
That's really annoying for no good reason. But short of immunity, there are ways to deal with resistances. Part of the reason my damage is so good is I'm using this. What I think I'll do at some point is swap this into my chest and put increased duration on it. And then swap this into my gloves so that I have a 5 link. I'm going to have to play with it more before I say definitively this should or shouldn't be out of a pool, to be honest. So far, I haven't found it to be a significant issue. Yes, essence nodes are still worth taking. Are slightly scarier than before, though. Now, let's do this first. You know what? Chisels are common. Life is extra max, yes. This is a bad one that I shouldn't do. I say as I put it in and activate it. I'm just not going to use my Sentinels. You know, I wonder how much of the rough experience is people using Sentinels at the wrong time, or people using Sentinels with too much empowerment. Because I have noticed that using Sentinels at the wrong time is really bad. And I wonder if that's what's causing a lot of people trouble. I could totally see it. What level am I? 81. That's a good question. I wasn't aware of the answer myself till I checked. Yeah, you just have to be a little bit aware and not do things like, oh, look, there's a really rippy essence monster. I'm just going to pop my Super Empower Sentinel on it. Don't do that, by the way. Popping Super Empower Sentinel on really rippy monsters, bad idea. You know, I'm going to use it in here. I don't think this is going to cause significant issues. Why can that drop Simulacrum Splinters? I don't like that. Things should not be dropping random mechanics that are not related to them. Why is Sentinel continuing this problem? And GGG wonders why people are just blocking all the League mechanics and just doing the new one. The way Sentinel works, you hit a button and things happen. With the red one, you hit a button and just go about your mapping. With a blue one, you look for a lot of enemies. Then you hit a button and go about your mapping. Oh, div cards. They're invulnerable or something, aren't they? They were something. Yeah. And I also think it's very clear why there were no build nerfs now. Because they wanted to test this system. And they wanted to see how the current... Oh, I let my fever drop. This is why I want ink duration on my fever. Because I'm really bad at maintaining it. So they wanted to see how, with the current iteration of player power, the monsters felt as part of making the game harder. So they left the outliers. And yes, I'm still outrunning my red one a lot of the time, except a little bit less now that I'm in tier 6 maps instead of tier 3s. Corrupting Fever scales off of gem level and damage over time. So damage over time multiplier, fizz.multi, etc. doesn't really scale off of much else because it's a spell that has a buff that is not scaled by spell damage. That's a lot of crit multi. Don't know if it's good though. But this is a tier 6 map. My gear is not great, and I'm not having issues. There is no pro lift. It's just an on-hit effect. Oh, wait. You meant poison. My bad. Yes, AoE does scale base pro lift distance, as long as it is global AoE. So increased area of effect, not helpful. See, this is something you would not want to empower. Oh, it's Berserker. Yeah, we don't want to empower those. Ah, no, bad. Okay, I shouldn't have let it hit me so much. So when you say you died in a tier 10 with a character that could do tier 14s, that to me seems like a very leading statement, because it assumes that the character would not have had any issues ever in the tier 14s and now has issues in the tier 10s. There's plenty of builds that could do tier 14s and still can, where with a bad combo of Arch Nemesis mods or a bad combo of map mods, you could die in a tier 10 map. There's not that much of a difference between tier 10s and tier 14s. There are other builds where it would be very concerning if they died. So I think that's just a one-off experience, or it feels bad because things are changed. And this is also why I don't like it when GGG just lets power go rampant, since usually that's players' reactions. The thing is, this is balancing. This happens with every game that is long running. Things that are strong get reduced in power, because if you are trivializing the game, it's not fun anymore. And so, will it be somewhat uncomfortable when it first happens? Yes. But once you're used to it, will it feel bad? Nah. I don't really think so. Oh, I'm just leaving them because the mechanic is annoying, to be honest.
Lash.
If white map rares are challenging for your build, you have built your character wrong. White maps are not challenging. You're either under-leveled, you're not geared properly, you did something wrong. White maps are still not challenging. The last thing like this was 3.8 Blight League. So their philosophy on builds and playtesting seems to change a lot. Right now, it seems to be, let's make things a little bit harder and then tone it back if it's too hard, because we want to experiment with a bunch of new stuff. Or also, let's just make things OP in general.
Hail, Godslayer.
And so, I get why people have some growing pains. I also get why there's a lot of difficulty when it comes to GGG playtesting everything, because there's so many item and mod combinations in the game. But I don't see how overcoming a challenge is innately bad. That, yes, things are going to challenge you. Things that were easy before will not be easy now. How is that not a good thing? And if your argument is, well, I just want to do everything easily, then maybe PoE isn't for you. If it's, I don't know how to get better, I don't know how to overcome the challenge, that is a concern. And I think that in particular, Arch Nemesis does a much better job of overcoming that because so many of her rares are so much more identifiable than before. Where if you're in hardcore and you die to an Arch Nemesis mod, that's going to feel really bad. And that's going to happen. But you should be able to easily identify it and not die to it next time. Yep. Reddit just always wants everything to be easy, though. So their opinion isn't particularly valid. Yeah, and it's gonna feel bad sometimes when you're not really aware of a mod. Yeah, try getting over it. Or Dark Souls. Oh, is there a new tweet? Let's see. Let's see if Twitter will be stupid again. I bet PoE is going to come up and then it's going to be like, nope, you can't do this because Twitter and we're dumb. Let's see. After making some numerical balance. Oh, it's a new forum thing. Got it. All right. This comes over here and this should work. It works. Cool. So numerical balance changes are now functional changes to how they spawn on rare monsters. Rare monsters generally had 2 but could spawn with as many as 3 or 4. Now the default is 1 with a chance of 2 or 3. Okay, so they've been nerfed across the board, are designed to be challenging in pairs. However, there's a lot of rare monsters. Yeah, there were certain things that felt really, really strange. That there were so many, like Betrayal Research. So many monsters in there, and it felt really strange to have 3 and 4 mod stuff in there. So it's going to be a lot easier now, and 2+ won't be happening at all in the early game anymore. Some things are going to be changed as needed, and a counter buff to Headhunter. Okay. Yeah. This makes sense. Because Headhunter relies on stealing a bunch of mods really, really quickly. I believe the 6 or 7 is other things that add modifiers like essences, but I could be wrong, since I've only had it happen a couple times. So basically, it is getting adjusted. I don't think, even as it is right now, if it saw no more adjustments, that it's the end of the world. I do think that adjustments should happen. And I do like that the game is going back to a state where it's more challenging. Since that is what PoE has always sold itself as. And it's not a challenge that you can't overcome. Yeah, that's a good point, Julian. And right now, a lot of people still undervalue defenses and still go, oh, you know, I can just get more damage. There is now a thing for that. That thing is make enemies do 25% less damage at the cost of having 50% more life. 50% more life doesn't matter if you have enough damage to one-shot them anyway. If you're on a build like this, I definitely don't want to take that, because it would make my fight significantly longer. And right now my build doesn't feel like the damage is low. it also doesn't feel like the damage is high. It feels pretty well balanced. Oh, I'm bleeding. That's just me not paying attention. Yeah. I think that my stance is PoE's not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be impossible, but it's not supposed to be easy. And so if you are against a change just because it makes the game harder, I think you're going to be unhappy with a lot of changes in the game's future, because I expect PoE 2 is going to move more towards a difficult experience. Oh, go away, Zaps. And it should. For a majority of PoE's history, that's what the game's been about. If you're a zoomer, though, you can still do maps super quickly. There's still going to be mods that are super, super fast. Yes, I did start Spectral Helix, and I switched to Kinetic Blast around level 71 or 72. I don't remember what Executioner does. Isn't that the Arch Nemesis mod that... That's the Arch Nemesis mod that disables healing above half health, right? It would certainly help your poisons deal more damage to enemies that have rejuvenation or something. But it won't implicitly help poison prolif. Yep. Yeah, I think that mod in particular is... Oh, nice little lag spike. Is getting a lot of people right now because they're not aware of how it works. Oh, is there also something on the tree? I mean, if it says increased area of effect, probably. Also, could GGG stop naming enemies after things on the tree? Please. It is so needlessly confusing. Like, just call the monster something else if it's a node on the tree. Instead of calling it Executioner. Herald of Execution. That's not a thing yet. Hopefully.
Conflict. Drain.
Okay, so she's probably dead. Now I'm going to focus on the other one of her.
Run.
I really didn't take that many nodes. I took pretty much just what I needed early on. So if you need more regrets, you should be able to go back and do optional quests. Or you may have taken too many melee nodes for the Spectral Helix. Because what I had is I had Martial Expertise and I had Destroyer. And that was it. Those were the only Spectral Helix specific things that I had. Oh no, I had one Mastery as well. I had 20% chance to Impale. Doing it again, I probably would have come over here. I would have taken Bloodletting and Crimson Dance. But aside of that, that's another, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And you get 20 regrets from the story. So it's still under 20. Which means if you followed a similar path, go back and look and see if you have story quests to complete. That should sell for a couple chaos. Okay, well, I found your first problem. That sounds like a god-awful guide. And the second problem is you really shouldn't be going to grab all the two-handed axe stuff unless you're going to be staying Helix for a long time. Like, if you plan to stay Helix till red maps, I could see it. If you plan to swap over before red maps, that's so much wasted investment. I don't want to scour that right now, so I'm just going to run a couple of tier 5s. Oh, cool. I don't have to alch that one. Soon there will be harbingers in here. See, like right there, it got to empower 2 monsters before I killed everything. 2 monsters, mind you. Not 20, not 75, 2. And this is why I have a problem with Sentinel and it feeling bad. No problem. If you grab some of the bleed nodes, you can probably just play Spectral Helix Bleed plus Corrupting Fever Hybrid till, I don't know, red maps, tier 16s, until you feel comfortable swapping. I don't think there's really going to be that much of a, ooh, not going in there. I don't think there's going to be that much of a damage ceiling on it. I don't think it'll feel the greatest, but it'll be playable. And I'm going to get away from that. Oh, wait. I explode things. I don't need to worry about corpse detonation. I do need to worry about the Gargantuan Juggernaut, though. He's not going to take much damage from me. Rusted Bestiary. Not my favorite. Oh, God. I think I killed those things before my Sentinel went off, by the way. I am not enjoying Sentinels at all. I don't know why I started sounding robotic there. Must be the Sentinel's fault. How close is my Corrupting Fever to level up? Because right now... Okay, about halfway. One more level on it will feel really, really good. And after this map, I might try Reaping. Instead of Exsanguinating. Gargantuan Stormweaver. Gargantuan seems really common. I don't know the waiting for a lot of these yet, but Gargantuan definitely seems common. The reason I'm considering Reap instead of Exsanguinate is Exsanguinate has a range limit. Like, if I stand over here, I'm not putting Exsanguinate on stuff. And I'm pretty sure I can Reap off screen. Yeah, I think the problem seems to be that the Sentinels have a cast time instead of being instant. And also, it's a button instead of automatic. It should just be an instant automatic effect. That would feel really good, actually. Oh, did I fail there? Yeah, I failed. So I was trying to stand next to the boss to get my stuff up, my endurance charges, and I failed utterly. Yeah, I think Reddit is making way too much of a deal about it. Especially since I saw some people complaining that Merveil was OP, and Merveil wasn't changed. So if you find Merveil to be overpowered, that's not a GGG or Arch Nemesis thing. That's a you thing. Now, I know someone mentioned it a while ago, and I was addressing my thoughts on Arch Nemesis modifiers. But to go back to the idea of bosses now, rares do feel a lot stronger than bosses. And I'd like to see that changed. I'd like to see bosses made scarier relative to rares. Let's see. What one unique do I want? Only one, no mage blood. Replica Soul Tether is definitely not the answer. If I had to pick one right now, I'm torn between Headhunter and Squire, because both of those would be either a massive power boost at this level or just something that you can sell for a ton of money. Nope, I am not using the Poet's Pen. I'm using Spellslinger. Oh, wait, that shouldn't go there. That should go here. And where's my Reap? Sanguinate Reap. Here we go. Hey, thank you very much for becoming a Merciless supporter. Is there a minion build that doesn't require a 6-link on endgame? Functionally speaking, depending on what you mean by endgame, there's no build in PoE that doesn't require a 6-link. But is there a minion build that can get away with a 5-link for longer? Absolution. Absolution can get away with a 5-link for longer. All right, so this is a level 17 Reap. 18,000. 18,000. I don't think this is going to be better. But oh, wait. I need to store these auras in a way that doesn't completely break when I put them on. That would be a good idea. Well, let's see how Reap feels. Yeah. The only reason I didn't suggest Skeleton Mages is because they require a Jewel, which is way more expensive. Oh, wait, does Reap only cast at point blank range with Spellslinger? Oh, no. Oh, no. This is garbage. This is garbage. This is so much shorter range. Oh, I want it to stop. Make it stop. Okay. It's fixed. It didn't look like it was where my mouse was with Spellslinger. I can do it again. But it was not casting. Right. Oh. Huh. Maybe it is now. But it seems like it's casting off center of my cursor? That's weird. Like, why is it doing that? Over here, it's casting directly on. But then here, the center point is so far off. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I don't know. That's terrible targeting. It should be centered on my mouse cursor and not weird based on screen angles or locations. Yeah, I'm just going to go back to Exsanguinate. Exsanguinate hits most of the screen. Yeah, that's just really weird targeting. Oh. Is this going to get through? Yeah, that's going to get through.
Purification pump.
Yeah, goodbye, pump. Wait. I'm very confused. Did I miss something in chat? Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the towers. I have zero desire to lab run. Ever. So, no, I cannot make a lab running for profit guide. If you want to do it, I think it's as simple as run lab, have people from TFT pay you. Yeah, I don't know what is going on about. I can't tell if I missed something or if that was his version of hello. If it was his version of hello, I'm very confused. Usually, I prefer to explain context of things before posting large monologues.
Now. Don't go all day.
Oh yeah, it does that. I really need increased duration on it. The problem is I do enough damage that I don't immediately notice. If I immediately noticed because I did no damage, it would be fine. I missed that. Market orders instead of live trade sounds like you are taking one aspect you don't like and swapping it for a whole bunch of other problems that would not be any better. I do not ever enchant my belt from Uber Lab. I pay someone to do it for me. But yes, I paid about 30 exalts to have my Mage Blood enchanted last league, and I've paid a couple X before to buy crafting bases with enchantments on them. But I never do it myself. Oh wait, fully linked. This is actually relevant. Yeah, sell orders would not work well for Path of Exile. It would just shift the problems from one set of things that annoy people to a whole different set of things. Oh, I'm doing a very bad job of reading this. Because I need to go here, then over here, and read chat a little bit less. How long did the belt enchant on Mage Blood take? Oh, I just bought an already enchanted one. Does the blocking Abyss node count as Abyss nodes? Also, why are you asking all of these completely random questions, Sunshard? I feel like you seem to have a misunderstanding fundamentally about why I'm streaming, where you seem to think that I am streaming to do random things that people in chat say. And that is not the point here. At all. The point here is to show what I'm already doing. And probably talk about some relevant topics while I'm doing it, if I don't get sidetracked. Nope. Chat does not control me. Jug permafrost. Yep. Seems about right. Should die pretty quick, though. Hey, thank you very much for becoming a Cruel supporter. Welcome. See, I thought that too, Julian, except before that, he was like, could you do this other random thing? Could you play this other random build? And that's not what I'm here for. My take on the new rares is Reddit's overreacting by a lot. The rares aren't really a big deal. Yeah, so this is Corrupting Fever Gladiator with very low gear, to be honest. I would expect that everyone, even in SSF, can get gear that is relatively comparable to this. Maybe not within 24 hours, Maybe it'll take you a couple days, but you can get it. There's nothing here that's that hard to get. What would be the hardest thing? Hardest thing would be my gloves. I got very lucky with those. This was 1 essence, by the way. They are way too good for 1 essence. And speaking of t-shirts, if you like t-shirts, I have quite a few with various things on them, like I crangled all my gear and all I got was this stupid shirt. The only cluster I'm using is this, which I got as a drop, and you can either use the fizz damage over time or the damage over time. So again, overall, not too hard to get. This was after 2 Reforged Life, I think. I forget how many Reforged Life I used. If GGG offered a paid character slot that can start at maps of a level character, they should sell it for $1 million. If they sell it for $1 million, totally fine with it.
Godslayer.
I'm going to be honest with you. I know that Grim released the guide, but because it was so close to League start, I did not have time to actually check his video out, except for very quickly grabbing it to recommend to people who needed a step-by-step walkthrough. I just did my own thing. Why would you have to level in standard? It's standard. You level once. If leveling every class, so leveling 7 characters, is horrible to you, then I don't think you like video games. I'm pretty sure that means you just don't like video games. Now, I can't guarantee my version will be different, mostly because I haven't looked at Crims, and there's probably going to be a fair bit of convergence as you get to endgame. But overall, there's probably going to be small differences. Like, right now I don't have any of it, but one thing I really want to incorporate in a couple levels is spell suppression. I don't know if Grim uses spell suppression. That could be a difference right there. And so that might be the same. Maybe his endgame tree also has it. It might be a divergence. What else can I think of that might be very different? Oh, I clicked this node. Today's plans or goals. Well, I would say that not getting sidetracked by chat is a plan or a goal, but let's go with a goal that I'm going to fail at, because I'm getting very sidetracked by chat. Aside of that, I think I just want to continue to progress my Atlas a bit, continue to upgrade my gear, maybe find a better shield, because as good as my shield is, I just found one that's way better for 10 Chaos Orbs, if it's not already sold. And let's see if I get this shield. Oh, and get a 5 link. Or a better chest piece. See, passive skills grant. That does remind me I should be looking out for clusters. Oh. The low item level ones are very cheap because they're very bad. That's right. Because I don't think... What are the level 1 notables for Fizz dot or for Fizz clusters? I would guess based on price that you need it, but I'm going to check for myself because sometimes there are things that people misunderstand or underestimate about mods. So, Fizz Notables. You can get Ironbreaker, which is physical damage, Furious Assault, and that's it. You can get Ironbreaker and Furious Assault. That's honestly not terrible for a low level. So, counterpoint. You want it to be higher, but you don't need it to be higher. Although this one is, and if I get it, that's perfect. If not, I'll buy this one. And this is why I always check things for myself. Because it's very easy to say you need it to be over level 50 to prevent people from buying a jewel that can only roll 2 notables and then wasting a ton of currency trying to roll 3 notables on a jewel that can't do it. I totally get why Grim would have said something like that. But that said, does it really mean that you need to? No, because you can get away with 2 notables. And 2 good notables will still have decent value. Assuming that any of these people with 2 notables, or with low item level jewels, sell. The Belt of a Deceiver? Yeah. Belt of a Deceiver, really good belt. Very cheap too. Just use Sentinel folk. They drop exalts. It's okay. I'm wasting all my money right now by trying to buy something that people aren't answering for because either trade site is slow or people are getting spammed because they are significantly cheaper. Sunshard, stop asking random questions. It's getting really annoying. Yeah, I think 10 Chaos is a totally fair price for one of these. Okay. Oh, look. I got one of the things I wanted, but not 2 of them. I need 2 of them. Aha! Here we go. Super easy. See, this is why it's worth it to me. So, if that's the case, Lenindov, you might want to consider solo self-found if the idea or concept of trading really bothers you. You might want to consider standard solo self-found. Yeah, the thing with asking a bunch of random questions is it's not really relevant to what's being discussed right now. And I'm not just some magical internet encyclopedia. A lot of the things that you're asking, you should just be Googling instead. 3 notables, 9 passives for 20C. Not sure if it was worth. I wouldn't pay 20C for it personally. I wasn't going to pay over 10C for any of them. But early on, the fizz nodes aren't terrible. And so you can add a decent bit of value by doing something like this. And then going over here. The jewel sockets, if they aren't clusters, not super, super relevant early either. But like right now I have this, which is physical damage and overwhelm. Doesn't really do anything for me. Or the overwhelm doesn't. The physical damage does at 10%. So even just this node here, way more valuable. And so that's how I'm doing it for now. Is there anything else I wanted to or could swap? Yeah, it's fine. There's just certain questions, like why doesn't PoE have an auction house? They get very, very annoying to answer because I get asked that a lot. And at the end of the day, the answer is because it is not a game designed around having an auction house, and it's just very tiresome. It's just really, really tiresome to constantly get asked things like that. Because the real answer is it's not how the game is meant to be played. The devs get to decide how their game's meant to be played. And personally, I'm very glad of it. Yes. Exactly. All right, I'm going to stop using the vitality thing. I was really only doing it because I had the mana available and the points available, and now I have uses for my points again. So this should be the same either way. I want to go for the fizz damage. I'm 100% with Chris. I have seen what happens to games that have auction houses. Wait, auction skyscraper? Oh, skyscraper. First, so when you said skyscraper, I was thinking that was an item, and I was like, wait, what? But no, skyscraper, I get it. That would be worse because you can fit more auctions inside of it, which gives the bots even more power. Because I remember playing World of Warcraft, and I would try to sell items, and within under a second, oh, your Sentinels are defective, Paul. And an auction house is a bot stream, 100%. Because within under a second, my things would be undercut. If I ever listed an item too cheaply by accident, it would be bought instantly. I never had time to cancel the trade because I wasn't trading with people. I was trading with bots. And TLDR, auction house bots are awful. PoE is a free game. The economy in PoE would be utterly ruined because all it would take is a couple of bots to instantly drive the prices up by literal thousands of percents. Oh, I mean, I used one of the add-ons because that was the only way to deal with the bots. See, I don't see scamming as a serious daily occurrence in PoE. I come across a scammer maybe twice a league. Maybe. Doing thousands of trades. Sure, it happens. Sure, it's a problem. But if I had to pick between bots constantly controlling items and a scammer that I have to ignore list twice a league, not really concerned about ignore listing 2 accounts a league. I ignore list more than that for people who just give dumb offers on things and then refuse to accept no for an answer. I am very glad you swapped to Spark. Yeah, WoW weapons are also static, but that doesn't mean you couldn't very easily program a bot to use any search parameter which a player can currently search. In an ideal world, I think we wouldn't have PoE trade bots for currency. In an ideal world. But we don't live in an ideal world. And I don't find that PoE currency trade bots significantly take away from my gameplay experience. With an auction house, you could still absolutely run into that problem, except the prices would be reversed. Someone would buy all of something and artificially inflate it, and if you don't know the market, you will pay the higher inflated price, and then you will be out money when the item drops to 5 Chaos Orbs from 50 within a day. Again, stuff like that, you're exchanging one problem for another without actually fixing it. Yeah, I don't know why it's a discussion. No, it's not risky. If you can afford to buy everything, it's not risky at all. And I know this because I did this in World of Warcraft, and Blizzard yelled at me for it. They're like, stop buying all of the things. We don't like you anymore. Because I owned all of the Dark Moon decks, and I made around 4 million gold within like a week.
God Slayer. Hail.
There's also a lot of other issues with auction houses that, yeah, TLDR, auction houses are never coming to PoE, and they're not good for PoE. Yep. And I don't think PoE could use a tax system. That's another thing where any sort of tax system directly hurts the economy. So at the end of the day, you can prefer an auction house in your games. And there are cases where I do. I would not want to see World of Warcraft without an auction house, despite the issues. But I think PoE's system works really well for PoE. And trying to change that would just inevitably make the game worse. Not to say you can't improve the trade system at all. There's lots of improvements that could happen. Like, a perfect example of one would be when you have an item that is priced for a certain thing. If someone is giving you the exact currency, have the game know all this stuff and have there be a highlight feature. That would be great. I'd love to see that. But that doesn't change the nature of how trading works in PoE. Oh, why did it have to be currency? Because I was going to skip this guy because these are super beefy. These used to be really good DD specters because they're so beefy. But now I have to kill it because it has currency reward. I am not working on any videos at the moment. Right now, what I'm doing is focusing on my progression and gameplay, but I will be talking about Sentinel at some point, and depending on the changes that happen to the rares and the magic monsters, I may also make a video on that. Though I suspect if I make a video on that, it's going to get linked to Reddit, and a lot of people are going to get really mad at me. It's going to be really funny, and I just won't read my comments for a week. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the trade system in Last Epoch. And that's an example of a game that could run into the issues, or it could not. They're using a centralized currency in gold. Or unified currency, I guess, better than centralized. So it gets around the problem of all sorts of pricing and stuff. Because that's another issue. PoE doesn't have a unified currency, and it shouldn't. The game's purpose-built to not have that. For an auction house, you really need one. Although I also know that the Last Epoch devs are currently struggling with their trade implementation, because they've talked about that in devlogs. Which shows just how difficult it can be to design a good trade experience for players. I'm going to guess this is 7C. I have no idea. It could be worthless. All right, I'm going to do the summit. I don't want to because I hate the boss, but I'm going to do it. Yeah, Pee-wee's currency system is great. And an auction house would irreparably damage it because it works since there is no single trade currency.
Good time, the Maven. Do not disappoint her.
You can't, though. Because one of the best things about Pee-wee's currency system... Okay, perfect example. Earlier today, someone messaged me for an item. And I had that item for sale for 15 Chaos Orbs. And they said, I only have 10 Chaos. Is that okay? And I said, no, I think it's worth more than 10 Chaos. But could you do 10 Chaos and 5 Alchemy Orbs? And then they said, sure. So I sold my 15 Chaos item for 10 Chaos and 5 Alchemies. And that's only possible without an auction house. Also, as a quick note, the recent improvements to the trade site that came in... You know, that's what I should make a video about. Trade site improvements. Because they're great. And they solve a lot of people's complaints with trading for certain types of items. Yeah, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. It's just going to go in circles. What Uber boss am I looking forward to? Uber Elder. Because when Uber Elder was first going to be released, they actually delayed Uber Elder. Because his bullet hell phase, or the Shapers, was part of the Uber Elder encounter. And there was no Zana. You just had to get good and dodge. And what happened there? Well,
great hunt, Exile.
I got really excited with Uber Elder because I saw that they finally added the bullet hell phase in. I am playing Gladiator. Yes, get good or die. Yep, there is no Zana. There was never going to be a Zana. No. I should probably pay attention to the things I'm clicking. I'm going to keep clicking them, though, and not paying attention. No. The real answer is you run Melding of a Flesh on your build. Broken in what way? Oh, that's evil. I couldn't click my thing because it walled me. How dare you? No. Okay. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. It's fine, though. I should probably just block Blight with my next point. I'm already very meh about doing them. And I'm not really doing them properly. Or making any effort to improve with them. Yeah, Pee-wee's currency system is very well designed. I do think that sometimes it makes the game harder for GGG to balance. But it's great. Yeah, you should easily be able to survive the bullet hell phase, though, if you have... Oh, I don't have my fever up. If you have good res, specifically cold res, or you have cold taken as a different element. Because it's 25% cold pen. Yep, that does not sound buggy or awful to me. That sounds completely intended. I have a friend who did a lot of the Uber fights, and he said they were very easy if you have 30,000 energy shield. So that's just my impression of standard. So the way to keep creeping fever, or did I just say corrupting fever up, is spending life. So I have Exsanguinate that spends life, and I have Life Tap on my KB, which both help to maintain it. But sometimes I'm not attacking much. Oh! Oh no! Oh yeah. Especially if you don't have voice lines on and you don't hear Zana yell, "To me, Exile!" You definitely get obliterated by that once and then learn, oh, I'm supposed to do something there. Because as I remember, that's one of a few insta-kills in the game that it doesn't matter how many defenses you have, you just die.
Flesh. Speed.
So I think it's very intentional that stack sizes are what they are for currency items. Where I'd like to see some stack sizes adjusted is for things that aren't really treated as currency. I'm totally fine with chaos stacking to 10 because that means you can only fit 600 chaos in an inventory. So any item worth over 600 chaos has to involve some other form of trade currency.
Boredom. Flesh.
Oh, stop healing. Bad Maven.
Grab. Joy.
Don't make the boss last longer. I don't like that boss. Okay, and Blight goes away. Perfect. Wait, last league? Last league, there weren't unavoidable bullet hell. The only time that you wouldn't have a shield on normal Shaper was if you did the fight wrong and Zana took too much damage. So if you had that issue, you need to protect Zana better from the ads. Oh. Okay. Sorry, sometimes it is very hard to follow everything in chat while also playing and dealing with items. Yeah, I would very much like something in the trade window that shows what things are being put up. So like if you put up 1 Exalt, 20 Chaos, and 7 Alks, up top it would be, 127. That would also help prevent a lot of scams where people try to do single stack stuff.
Struggle.
Yeah. I've definitely run into situations where people didn't know about that though, and were wondering how to do the fight. Because the fight is very, very hard if you don't know that you have to protect Zana. Also, in terms of that, for anyone who might not know, you can also do the Elder fight wrong and not protect Shaper, in which case you will not get a Watcher's Eye as a drop. So if you like loot, then protect the Shaper, kill all the ads, get all the Watcher's Eyes, and then profit. I don't think he's gonna insta-kill me if he hits me. Yeah, he's not gonna. But I also shouldn't tank him and the meteors. Right? Nah, probably shouldn't.
Oh, joy. Gift.
And eventually I'll be respeccing this stuff, but I'm using Mad Devotion to grab some early Legion stuff, or not early Legion, early Delve stuff. For now, though, Ominous Arrival. Now I have a Harbinger in every map. I'll have to see about that. I'll have to see when I do it on this character. Because people will often say that about bosses. And usually it comes down to how they've built their character more so than it being a non-caster. Oh yeah, Harvest was absurd. Like, actually absurd. Character gains Diamond Shrine and Frenzy charges. Ooh. Sure. Let's run that for a bit. Yep. I keep forgetting to use the blue Sentinel. Ooh, nice. Oh, this is so juicy. And it's ROG? It's ROG. So juicy. Hello, ROG. Let's do that. And this. Can't be evaded. Well, that's fine because I can't evade anyway. Cannot leech. Also fine. I think I'm hitting pretty much everything here. The problem with stuff like that is that's not a very good way to think about game balance. If you weren't using TFT for Harvest, you were choosing to impose a limit on yourself. And by TFT in this case, I mean either the Discord, their website, or the other PoE Discord for trading Harvest crafting. But if you weren't doing something to engage with trading crafts, that was something that you were imposing on yourself, much like playing solo self-found. And mechanics should not be left specifically because you can impose limits that make them less broken. Because you could also just use a 4-link, and then most skills in the game wouldn't be OP. That doesn't mean they shouldn't be nerfed, because way more people will be doing the trading. Way more people will be using the 6-link. Way more people won't be playing with the limited version in SSF. That's exactly what they did. They limited the aspect that made it broken. The ability to interact with specific mods on an item without interacting with other mods on an item. And Ammonium Sentinel. Because TFT trading wasn't innately the issue. You could also just play a lot and run a lot of Harvest and have the same advantages. But trading was still very limited by the fact that you could no longer trade the benches. Or not trade the benches, but have infinite benches. Whereas before, you could have as many benches as you wanted, and that was huge for crafting and trading. Yes, you can metacraft with Harvest, but at that point, there's a cost to it. This was, Harvest was interacting with specific modifiers for free.
Glad to see.
Which was very, very broken. These are all low level, aren't they? Item level 51, yes. Refresh.
Premium deals, I see.
Yes, I want the premium deals. Give me all the premium. Huh, 99 life. If that had good suffixes, someone would definitely buy that.
It's your lucky day, Exile.
I guess I'll wait till I do more rod.
For next time.
That was an interesting little graphical glitch. Sure. On one hand, congrats. On the other hand, I don't suggest activating RF at those levels. I suggest waiting a little bit. That was an executioner, wasn't it? I like the new MTX direction. I like it so much that I think if it's a success, we're going to see more MTX design in other games that are inspired by this. The things that interact with actions you take as a player are a lot more rewarding than just your character's armor or your skill is green instead of pink. Yeah, I would not go RF until you have Pious Path and until you are comfortable keeping your Chaos Res capped, even after Katava's stuff. Yeah, don't start RF run level 18. That is a lot of extra hassle. Not worth it. Trust me. Should probably go do this and it's so dangerous to activate that Sentinel in the big group of enemies. Yep. Wintertide until RF swap. That's the way to go. Or one of the ways to go. There's a few ways you can level that build. Yep. Wait, Molten Strike? Why Molten Strike? Wait a minute. Why are you using Holy Flame Totem with Molten Strike? You should be using Holy Flame Totem with Wintertide Brand or Fire Trap. Or even Armageddon Brand. I swapped to Kinetic Blast around level 72 or so. After my Corrupting Fever was at a decent level. I think I probably could have stayed Helix for longer, though. I could have stayed Helix for... Ooh, that's a lot of life. Probably until red maps. The problem with combining something like Holy Flame Totem and Molten Strike is an attack that scales off of your weapon. Holy Flame Totem is a spell and a totem that scales off of increases and reductions to spell damage. So you'd have to mule it over from another character like, I think Shadow gets it? But if you do, it's a very, very good way to get a lot of damage early on, because it hits hard. I'm just going to put this up for 15C. Yep. Good luck. Okay, that's gonna fill it up really fast.
Find Exile.
Well, I don't think Death Aura over RF was a good choice. I think you chose correctly by going with RF. I believe League start for console is sometime next week. The problem with Death Aura is it requires gear to work. And even when it is working, it's already worse than RF. And when you don't have gear, it's really bad. It's really bad. You definitely need gear for Death Aura. Oh, it's Soul Eater, so it's just going to keep getting stronger. Nope. Deactivating it early does not save charge. I found leveling with Helix to be nice. I'll check my kills after this. I would assume not that high. This is one problem with the Red Sentinel. Sometimes you empower stuff that you really shouldn't. I should not have empowered this guy. And all I got for it was a chisel. The bad essence. Okay, and empower that. Peninsula map. That's low level. Give me something better. Sacrifice of Dusk.
Good find, Exile.
Yes, the deactivate button is for help. I've done this near a terribly dangerous thing. I'm not sure about the question about challenger charges. I already have challenger charges. You can see them right here. Oh, that's a zap. Don't walk into zaps, chat. Zaps are bad.
This'll do nicely, Exile.
Nope, there is no reason to be playing this on League Start as a champion. The Yellow Sentinel is very not worth it. I don't even have mine activated anymore, because instead I wanted the rewards are less common types. Which reminds me, I should do this for now. Because I forgot that if I have 2 filaments in here, it accidentally goes over to that instead. Oh,
Hail, Godslayer.
fair enough. Yeah, no. Chad is just... This build's really strong for what it does. Making the Atlas feel easy. Bottom node. Oh, right, kills. 72,478 monsters. I don't know why I keep just rolling my hands across all my flasks. I guess just because I'm so used to automated flasks and I don't want to think about what each effect does. I was going to say each flask does, but you can tell that at a glance. All right, 83. Yep, you don't have to count anymore. The game counts for you. You get to see how many things you kill. Is this a mistake? Maybe. But watch, it's not even going to tag most of them, because without a ton of beaming range and stuff, the red guy sucks. I did get chromes and alchemies. See, the problem is Sentinel's annoying, but it's rewarding. So I keep doing it despite not enjoying how it works. Ooh, Diviner's Incubator. You guys stand together, please? No? Would be nice if they stood all together. Drought-bringer. How about... No. Why would I go into Prodigy Speed? That doesn't affect my kinetic blast in any real way. Okay. The boss is up over here. Should probably put up my fever before the boss. Might be helpful.
An anti-source!
No.
Blood into pain! Your heart quickens!
And he's about
Awful!
I mean, to an extent, but not enough to waste a bunch of skill points on it. It already goes to the edge of a screen and beyond. There's a few more enemies there than I expected. Should be fine. More things together means more explosions. Tornado Shot specifically saw nerfs that mean it effectively requires projectile speed to feel good. Kinetic Blast was never nerfed to have super low projectile speed. Well, it sounds like your no plan is doing pretty decently then. It's always the thing. If you go in with a plan, you'll do better. If you go in with no plan, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do badly. Yeah, Tornado Shot would need some proj speed, either from faster projectile support or from nodes on the tree. And those are garbage. I would say you had more of a plan than that. You already knew a little bit. You'd played it before. Now I'd go with this and Unspeakable Offensive? Yeah. And then I go up over here. Into Amplified Energy and First Wave. Then I probably come over to Crystal Lattice or Crystal Resonance, but maybe I could just cut Crystal Lattice. I mean, have you considered just Ancient Orbing into a Mage Blood again? Let's make sure this isn't awful. Well, let's put more essences on the map. Yeah, armor bearing cremation leveling's good. Okay, don't let those hit me. Got it. If you're wondering, does my build have defenses? Yes. Yes, it does. That, by rights, should have killed me. See here. See, it didn't even get to hit any of those things. It's still at 102 charges. Why are Sentinels so bad? It feels like the new rares are specifically made to punish people who are using 6 portals as their defenses. Oh, it's very dead. Gotta love Essence on the Atlas device. Maybe I shouldn't stand in that. I think I'm going to want Aberath. For Ignite immunity. Or not Ignite immunity, Burning Ground immunity. Splinterer, I'm assuming, is extra projectiles. Hey, it's going pretty good. In tier 7 maps at the moment, and just progressing through the Atlas super smoothly. How has your league start been? Might as well just hop through there. My fever fell off again. Whoops. Painful. What did you start with?
Godslayer, good day.
Really? I would have expected Absolution to do really well. Huh. I would have expected the exact opposite there, where DD would feel so-so and Absolution would feel amazing. Huh. Sentinel Locker for power cores. Assemble. Oh, okay. And that's disappointing. I think I want this one instead.
Godslayer.
Hmm. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I could see minions dying at lower levels. I'm guessing that's something where you want to outlevel things a little bit, and it would have felt a lot smoother. I think that's just one of those builds where you need to outlevel for your minions to live, or, of course, invest in significant minion defenses on the tree. Can Zombie Baron still work? Probably if you put enough money into it. I don't think that it's worth doing, but probably. Got plenty of Alex, so I'll do this. Time to blast. Oh, there's some enemies over here. So far, with Corrupting Fever, it has felt very, very good. I leveled as Helix. Helix leveling completely trivialized a lot of the enemies. And so far, it's been smooth even into yellow maps. I can see why you had a painful time then, Unknown. Domblo is not in a great spot at the moment. Oh, it's a regret. Always nice when you have regrets lying around. Oh, why are these all dead already? I didn't think I hit those. Apparently I did, though. Speaking of KB going super, super far. Probably still viable. I don't really see anything about the new rares that would have made it terrible all of a sudden. On the one hand, I'd say I have a 4-link, but on the other hand, my 4-link is kind of not a 4-link. It's kind of a 5-link. What ascendancy are you on? Because when I think Domblo, I think Guardian, but I don't know if that's actually how people play Domblo these days. Because if you're on a Templar, play an Inquisitor build. They're great. Necro. The easiest thing to swap to then would probably be Absolution into Skeletal Mages. And if you don't want to do that, Detonate Dead into Death Wish Ignite or into Phantasmal Cremation. 4-mod rares are fine unless you also empower them with a Sentinel. If you empower them with a Sentinel, pretty rough, but it's also kind of on you at that point.
Hail, Godslayer.
Oh wait, I don't know why I didn't just vendor that too. That went pretty well. I haven't found any 7 mod rares. I feel like 7 mod rares are rough on any build though. That just sounds rough on any build. Oh yeah, I was gonna... Where's my envy? Give me more chaos rest, please. Ooh. Well, that's pretty nice. T1 life. Just gonna put these here. I think I can do that un-ID'd. Worst case, it's no regen, which would be annoying, but doable. But if I see 7 mods now, I'm curious. I want to see how bad it is. Though... I feel like 7 mods won't spawn anymore. Because they reduced the total mod count by 1. So now it would be a 6 mod rare. But I'm curious. You know, shouldn't stand right in the enemies. See, I was wondering why I wasn't doing damage. It's because my corrupting fever fell off again. I really want to 5-link it so that I can add increased duration so it just never falls off. Ostrogales. Good old expedition while not doing expedition. Harby Scarab from a Harbinger. That seems fitting. Don't think it was intentional, though. It'd be interesting if it was. It'd be interesting if Sentinel knew what you were doing and could give rewards accordingly. I'd really like that, actually. Chaos Orb. See, it also knows that I like money. I really haven't had that many issues with mapping so far. So far, my experience has been pretty good. What are you? Woe Contempt. Woe is good. I don't think anyone's really using Contempt right now. Not 100% sure, though. Oh, I bet it's high. I bet it's super high. I wonder what Replica Soul Tether's at. Hmm. 3.5. Yeah, it sounds about right. Heist sounds like very good money then. Dungeon map layouts are so bad. Sounds like you built your heist character correctly. Since Heist, you don't really need all that much damage. You can go into a lot of speed and a lot of defenses and just Heist very, very safely and quickly. Ooh. Actually, wait. Oh, it teleports you, not her. I was thinking, take me with you, but doesn't matter. 34 monsters remain. I already got a... No, I didn't get a map. It's fine. And I'm gonna alk it, and that doesn't seem to affect me much. So far, so good. That was a lot of enemies that appeared for a very short amount of time. That was one of the new, like, mirror images or whatever. Luckily, the more enemies there are clustered together like that, the better my explosions. They don't know they're just making my job easier. Ooh, a Scarab on Corruptor. Give Scarab, please. Rusted Shaper, which is way more exciting than it was before. Oh, bleeding. Wait, did I take bleed immunity off of this flask? Damn it, I did. That was my old flask. That explains why bleeding has been doing damage. See, I just thought my life flask had anti-bleed on it the entire time. At some point. This build should handle delving pretty well. Because lots of delve is just a straight corridor that I can fire down in an enclosed space. Absolutely. Ooh. I think Emperor's Luck got significantly buffed by the Eldritch currencies. Because they are all, or most of them, I don't know if you can get the exceptional ones, but you probably can. They're in the pool. Nice. I got one of those earlier. I can't wait to have fun and mess around with them. I just need some good bases. Which will come with time. I've already got a couple live searches up for them. They haven't dinged yet, which makes sense, because I don't think these items exist. Yep, it clears very well. And the single target is decent. You're not going to one-shot bosses or anything, But this is an essence with 3 essences, so a fairly tanky enemy. And it's going down decently. I believe I'm 83 and about to be 84. I say I believe because I haven't quite been keeping track of how many times I've leveled. 13 monsters left. Yep, 83 about to be 84. So you don't actually want to put the 100% global defenses on an astral plate. You want to put it on a synthesized base. That's the real play.
Godslayer.
Though, if there will be enough synthesized bases to do that or not, well, that remains to be seen.
Hail, Godslayer.
Yep, a lot of the new rares are anti-Ellie, so they're very weak to my build. Gonna use some chisels and do a courtyard. Less life recovery should be fine. I don't know if it can put that specific mod on if it wasn't already present. I would guess 100 exalts or so. For some of the best ones. Oh, wait. I don't want to do that yet. I want this Sentinel to use up its charges. I'm going to guess about 100. Oh, there's a couple guys behind me. When I'm looting, it gives a lot more time to let it zap stuff. Of course they did. What? You can't have anything in PoE without it being a fishing item. I would expect nothing less. Something interesting dropped over there. Don't think I have Overgrown Shrine. And yes, I'm counting maps as interesting right now, because we are very early on still. All right, now I can come do this, because my Sentinel is not active. Oh, so that's the thing people were talking about. Of the circle that you're just not supposed to stand in. That explains why I never had any problem with that. Because I just never stood in the green circle. Because circles are bad. Map sustain, totally fine. Because, yeah, if you just stand over here, you don't stand in the circles. One of the most expensive that I think will happen... Is this safe? Unwavering Stance. It's going to be super, super costly. Let's see. 74... Oh, no. 63 to 71. That's pretty good.
Hail.
Oh, there aren't a bunch of enemies here. I was going in for a fight. There are no enemies. Yeah, Supreme Ego is going to be very, very expensive for sure. Oh, Porcupine. Money. I was just doing it for completion, but I could very well be farming it for a Porcupine instead. Ooh. Pop those, pop these. And now let's do this and be as greedy as I think I can survive.
Taking on some serious danger, I see.
Yep, the plan is to switch to bow eventually. Since that way you just have more options. Though even as a wand build, you can stay wand for a very long time. Wait, they actually did add Solaris Touch? Oh no. Oh no. Spooky. Very spooky. Rare monsters definitely have to be respected. I thought they weren't in because I hadn't seen any. I'm very glad they're in.
Slayer, good day.
Wait, that's damage over time multiplier. See if we're lucky. Rip.
God Slayer.
I can't imagine the beachhead being that scary because you should just be able to kill things as they spawn still. That said, this is where I'm going to be calling it because it is getting late. And I had dinner very late last night, and I don't want to have dinner super late tonight. So, pretty short stream today, but thank you to everyone who tuned in. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'm going to head off, do some more farming, do some leveling up, and possibly release a video later. Well, the video will come out in the morning, but I'll be making it later. Yep, sounds good. I will definitely hit you up later, Jason. For now, special thanks again to Seshu, Julian, and Jason for becoming channel members and helping to support me do, well, pretty much everything that I do, like streams and guides. For everyone else, hopefully you've enjoyed and have a good night.